okay? What's got such a red face?
It's just next to me.
Yeah. Well, it's for the,
Yellow face.
the people on the podcast don't know.
That's true.
Just for them. Lunch. Right. Hello and welcome to the Gerry and Scarlett show. We're just a couple from Glasgow who wanted their own topical chat show with patter, news and reviews, so we just decided to do it.
Yeah. Well, friends and family and everyone, you know, just have a bit of a chat, won't we?
Yeah.
Right.
On the show today, we've got some amazing updates on Scarlett's armpits.
We have, of course. It's becoming a key feature.
The armpit update.
We are also talking the Caledonian Sleeper and Eurostar, which you've been on this week.
Yeah, my sleeper and star travel to Belgium.
Yes, indeed. We're talking Bank of Dave, the film released in January, not the documentary. Murder Mystery 2 on Netflix, and Succession Season 4, Episode 2. Very exciting. But first of all, we are going to do rabbit holing, are we? We're rabbit holing first?
No, your deodorant update.
Oh, deodorant first.
Everyone wants to know how your armpit is doing since you stopped using deodorant and started rubbing a ball of salt on it.
And you will be flabbergasted to know, and probably so will you because of last week's not success story, that I actually...
It wasn't that fresh last week.
I'm a convert now. So she did say it was going to take 2 weeks to work. And I tell you, the major plus point with this is that I can smell my perfume. Because it is ridiculous. No, I can't. I actually cannot smell my pits at all. And I always thought it was ridiculous. We don't spend much money on deodorant, and then we spend a fortune on perfume. Your armpits are closer to your nose than your wrists. Your wrists, where you spray your perfume.
Is that where you put your perfume on your wrist?
Yeah.
You don't put it on your neck?
Well, yeah, you can do, but
because your neck's
you also
closer.
do that as well. Yeah, that's
you might
true.
have to rethink this point.
But my point is, I really like it because I don't smell sweat anymore, obviously. And I can smell my perfume better. So for me, it's an absolute win.
And now I've realised that you only put your perfume on your wrists as well, so we're learning so much about you all the
and
time.
my clothes, I just have a general spray.
Yeah. So there you go. You two could roll a ball of salt on your pits and forget where to put your perfume.
£6. Listen, this is going to last forever. It's £6, and it's Himalayan salt, by the way, in case you missed last week's. And yeah, I think it's a game changer.
Yeah, for anyone listening on the podcast rather than the visual version, it's like a massive gobstopper, like a marbly gobstopper.
It's a beautiful marbled pink ball of salt. I mean, it's...
To be fair, you've been rubbing your pits with it for 2 weeks now, and it doesn't seem to have got any smaller.
No, it has got a little bit less smooth, which is, I must say, ever so slightly painful. When you're if you've just shaved, it does get a wee bit, it just smart a little bit. It's fair to say now that I've taken the sheen off the top of it, but I am actually genuinely very impressed with it. So check out Himalayan salt deodorant if you get the opportunity. Right,
that was the armpit update. Now, time for the rabbit hole.
Armpit update. The rabbit hole is equally as weird. It got very weird.
Well, hold on, just for new listeners and viewers. Each week we do our reviews of TV shows and films, but Scarlett gives us a little insight into her imaginations and stream of consciousness as she starts with something that piqued her interest this week and where it ended with. So what piqued your interest this week, and what rabbit hole did it take you down? Yeah,
so it falls into clickbait on the internet, and basically this is on my news cycle, this story popped up and I was like, well, obviously I'm going to click on that. So, quote, Spanish actress, 68, welcomes baby via surrogate, reveals child is biologically her late son's.
Do you know what? I saw this story on a clickbaity thing on I can't even remember what website, whatever it is, and I didn't click it because I just thought,
why would you not?
Well,
this is like the weirdest thing ever.
It seemed like such a load of nonsense. But is it true?
Well, yeah. So, and then where I end up is so I went through loads of clicks, blah, 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 which we'll go through in a minute. Ended up at Rome's least capable emperor, which I thought you might like because you're into Rome and all that, aren't you?
Yeah, I do. I am into Rome and all that, to be fair.
So anyway, right. Do you want to...
Do you go down the rabbit hole of like families and family trees and stuff like that? I feel like that can take you to Rome and Roman succession.
Kind of. Yeah, that's actually the closest you've ever got, I think.
Okay.
So first of all, we start with this actress, Ana Obregón, who recently welcomed a baby who is the biological daughter of her late son, who sadly died of cancer at 27 in 2020. Now this is her second child. Obviously, he is her first child, the son. It's really interesting story. It actually turned out to be a lot sweeter than the clickbait that I'd initially thought. I thought originally I actually did wonder if this was going to be a...
Yeah, it sounds like a biological nightmare, really, doesn't
it?
No,
but what's actually happened is that she's not used like her eggs or anything like that. She's had a surrogate carry her son's baby. So her son froze his eggs.
Oh, and then she adopted the baby.
It was his dying wish to have a baby. He'd frozen his eggs before he got cancer.
Right.
And so his dying wish to his mother was, can you use my sperm and find a surrogate lady and look after the baby and bring up the baby as your own? But obviously she's bringing it up as a grandparent, which is not what the clickbait implies.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite a lovely story, isn't it? Like, because now she's lost her only son, but she's managed to get a daughter out of
Unless she got it all wrong and his dying wish was to make love to a woman for the last time, and she's just really misread the whole situation in whatever way. But I'm sure, let's take it, let's take it.
But it's quite an interesting last dying wish, right? So of course, then I fell down the rabbit hole of other wild and crazy dying wishes.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the first one that really made me laugh was a Serbian woman asked for her vulva, vagina / whatever you say, to be carved into her headstone after she died, to like an actual impress.
Oh, is that so? As many people in the village would recognise her.
I don't know.
That's Sandra, isn't it?
It's brilliant, isn't it? But her husband
recognise that vulva anywhere.
Her husband did do it. No, it was apparently her way of making sure that her husband didn't forget her vagina. It must have been something special, I'll tell you that. Bloody hell. But
not forget my vagina.
I need to think up a mad last dying wish that's make you do something absolutely mental. Right, so another one, Portuguese minor royal left his fortune to 70 random people that he found when he was flicking through the phone book. Why? Because he didn't want his fortune to go to the state, because he was angry at the state, and he was angry. He didn't have any heirs or family friends. That was a bit sad, really. But yeah, so he decided that if he died, his fortune would automatically go back to the state because he was royal. Right. He hated the state that much that he just picked 70 people.
Where was this royal person?
This is Portugal.
In Portugal. Okay.
Yeah, so 70 people got really lucky that day.
Yeah, because you would pick. How would you pick the names when you went through the? Like, you wouldn't just go for like normal names, would you? You would look for like character names.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you look for like Max Power and and Cedric Fisticuffs and stuff like that. You wouldn't be giving it to Stephen Wilkinson. He's not getting 70th of your fortune. Do you know how much you gave away?
No, I do not. No.
You might not really had that much money.
Millions, yeah. I don't think he really probably had that much money, but anyway. So another one, in 1930, an angry man from Iowa hated women so much that he left his daughter $5 and as well his spouse absolutely nothing, and $50,000 to be invested into a trust to found a womanless library where women are not allowed and only art exhibits and literature written and made by men were permitted. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This really feeds into the kind of guys that say International get really annoyed
at International Women's Day.
And they go, when's International Men's Day, eh? And you're like, well, there is actually
there is one. In November. But his daughter actually fought in the courts for it and said that he was insane and won. Yeah. So I think that's fair. I think that's pretty insane.
Not as insane as the Portuguese royalty. See those kind of things. That's like an email that you get, isn't it, in your junk mail? It goes, "Oh, the King of Portugal. Hello, my friend. The King. I am so angry at the state, and you can help me with the 70th of my fortune from the King of Portugal." Like,
You'd have missed out. You see, you'd rung you. You'd have missed out.
I'd have been in that old men's library.
Another one that made me laugh: the Pringles inventor Frederick Bauer asked to be buried in one of his Pringles cans.
Brilliant.
Which I went like that. I was like, fair play. And also on
a big one, obviously.
Well, yeah. No, I think a normal one.
A small can.
Well, it was probably ashes, wouldn't it? Be ashes, I would have thought. Yeah, and it had to be bought from like the corner shop or something. Like it was quite specific. Like they had to go to the shop and buy like a new one. It wasn't like it wasn't allowed to be like a special one. It had to be just one from the shops that had been mass made.
Yeah,
quite like that.
But then they wouldn't be able to just buy one, would they? Because if they're all eating at the funeral, and then once you pop,
No, I can't stop.
Your clogs.
Absolutely.
No, you can't stop popping your clogs. Should have thought that through.
Yeah. Anyway,
we should pre-record this show.
We should really think this through. The other one was the actual inventor of the frisbee. Did the same thing. He's called Ed Hedrick.
He wanted to be buried in a frisbee. He wanted
to be buried in a frisbee. But of course, that is a lot trickier than just putting your ashes inside a Pringles container. So he had to get it compressed into the plastic mold, and then.
And skidded, like in frisbee.
Well, I think he wanted it buried.
What?
I know, a bit of a waste.
That's like the perfect way to scatter your ashes. We should actually, everyone should be scattering ashes with a frisbee.
But it's plastic as well, so it's kind of anti the environment, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you could still use a frisbee, but just use it to scatter the ashes. So just get it in the frisbee, use it upside down. But everyone, if you're listening, take notes. This is why let's all agree to do this. I want my ashes scattered. Don't quote me on this.
Okay.
In a frisbee, press it down and just skid so you get maximum distribution of the ashes.
They should have done that in White Lotus, shouldn't they? And then she would have got her ashes out that boat.
Yeah.
A lot better. Jennifer. What's her name? Jennifer
Coolidge.
Yeah, her character could have got rid of those ashes. Yeah. So spoiler.
To be fair, on that note, are we getting close to the end?
Yeah, we are getting close. Yeah, very quickly. Right. So, who was the craziest inventor? So there was a few crazy inventors. I'll run through them. Charles Richter, man who invented the Richter scale for earthquakes. He was a nudist.
Oh, so you've already moved people's last wishes into
who was the craziest inventor. Yes, right, okay. After the last wishes. Because I like that inventor. Sorry, I forgot about that.
You need to let us know when you're moving.
Yeah.
To the next burrow of the rabbit hole.
Leo Fender, who invented two of the most famous guitar models. He never learned to play guitar.
No, why would you? Too busy making them.
Well, yeah, but surely you'd have to know. You think you'd have to know how to play it to be able to make a good one.
He must be able to play. He must a bit of Bob Dylan or something.
Yeah.
Knocking on Heaven's Door, 3 chords.
Yeah. This one's a bit sad. Mikhail Kalashnikov wishes he had invented something a little bit more benign than a machine gun that kills lots of people. But he actually literally, I think there's a quote saying he wishes he invented something more benign, like a lawnmower.
Yeah.
That's a bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It could be worse. His name could have been Stevie Atombomb. Who was really sad about what he did.
Yeah. Ruth Wakefield, the inventor of the chocolate chip cookie, sold her invention to Nestle for a lifetime supply of chocolate. Silly Ruth could have made a fortune.
Yeah.
She invented the chocolate chip cookie. And then the last one, which is where we're ending up at, Elagabalus, a 14-year-old Roman emperor, invented a very old version of the whoopee cushion, and he frequently used it on guests until he was killed at 18, as they weren't all killed at 18, but they were all pretty much killed, weren't they? I
bet he was warned, though.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Elagabalus. Yeah. Look, we all enjoyed it the first 1,700 times. If you do it again, this is ancient Rome. We will actually murder you.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was actually murdered for the whoopee cushions. So that was the last one, the last rabbit hole that I fell down, was looking into this guy, because I was like, he's obviously a total legend.
Yeah.
And he is, but for all the wrong reasons. So his reign was famous for sex scandals, religious controversy. He married 4 women. He was only emperor for 4 years. Okay. He married 4 women, including a Vestal virgin, which is definitely not allowed.
What does Vestal mean?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know it's the ones that look after all the sacred things, virgin, doesn't it? They look after the shrines and things. So they're absolutely not allowed to be fiddled with in
Unlike
any
virgins
situations.
are allowed to be. I don't understand. In ancient Rome, Vestal virgins were priestesses of Vesta, virgin goddesses of Rome's sacred hearth and its flame. So they were a particular order of virgins. There you go. You learn stuff on this show as well.
Well, also because Michelle Keegan played one, didn't she, in that very funny show?
It's not something I was aware of. Go on,
my god, what was it called? We watched it.
Best of the Vestals.
Oh no! Oh, it's gone out of my head. Anyway, and I remember thinking. Anyway, that actual storyline happened in this. Anyway, and he also, so back to old Elagabalus, he also married 4 women, including a Vestal virgin, but also had male lovers, prostituted himself, and wanted a sex change.
And he was an emperor.
And he was an emperor.
He did a lot, didn't he?
At age 14 to age 18. So I think basically he just didn't really know what to do with all of his time and money, and just, was having a great time. Which they did not appreciate. So he was assassinated at 18 and replaced with his cousin. And the quote about him, which is probably my favourite thing, is, "He was not a tyrant, but he was probably the least capable emperor Rome had ever had.
Wow.
Out of all 70. It's a bit of a...
But he got a lot done.
Yeah, he did get a lot done. I mean, it sounds like he had a great time in his 18 years on the planet. So.
He's not one I'd heard of, so that's amazing. Well, that was the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Before we get into our reviews, I think, gosh, we've really chewed up the time at the start here. But I'm just back from a trip. I'm heading to Belgium for a leadership course, which I might talk about at another stage, which is absolutely fantastic. With,
to be a leader.
Expanded to be a leader. Stage 1 was getting there. And therefore, I did have to find an interesting way of getting there. The flights and everything didn't add up for going to Bruges. I can now say I was in Bruges, but I can't say I was in Bruges. But I decided to take the Caledonian Sleeper, and I'd heard so much about the Caledonian Sleeper. You know, I love... You're
into trains. And
traveling. Yeah, when you stay over on the ferries and travel, what have you. So the Caledonian Sleeper, I thought always looked really, really interesting. And I've got some here now for it. And I just really loved it. I think I got really lucky. It happened to be the 150th anniversary of the first ever Caledonian Sleeper travel, and they were doing little whiskies. So, and you had some entertainment on the platform, which was hilarious. People are just wanting to get on a train and go to sleep.
There was dancers and stuff, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was like Highland dancers, and there was pipers on the platform. But the train picks up sometimes in Inverness and sometimes in other places. But Glasgow's another pickup. Edinburgh's one I got on, obviously, in Glasgow, heading down to London Euston, where I'd get my connection to go to on the Eurostar. But you just do imagine how the rooms, people wonder, like, would I be able to fit in it? Like,
that's a tight corridor.
I can't fit full.
No, that's so weird.
Full
it's
shoulder
so
length
thin.
down. I had to kind of shimmy down a wee bit sideways. And the cabins that I was the club class one, which is like the 2 bunks with a little shower room. There's one class just below that doesn't have the shower room. It's exactly the same size. There's also double rooms, which are a bit bigger, but only because of the bed being wide. Literally, you've got the same foot space and you've got the same shower and everything. And there's like a little lid that lifts up for you to use the toilet, and the shower hangs over the top of it. Everything's quite funky and quite connected. And I've got to say, like, the bunks looked quite tight. I didn't think I was going to fit on it, but I did. I did just about.
And you're big.
I'm 6'1". I'm 6'1". I'm quite broad, and I thought it was really comfy, like really, really comfy. And you can see like the way that it was all done up, the kind of Highland, kind of like Harris Tweedy kind of effect and everything.
Oh yeah,
it was really nice, and the staff and everyone are all
and free water.
Free water. There's loads of lovely little things.
And you had a whiskey there.
Well, the whiskey was a 150th anniversary thing, but there's eye patches, stuff like that. But the food was great as well, and I think the staff just seemed to feel like it's a bit of a treat as well. Like there's a lovely little cabin that you go into, like the food cart, and there's single seats, and there's booths for like wee families and what have you. You see the dancers and stuff out there. But like the staff are like beautifully kind of dressed, and it feels like a little privilege. It feels like a little bit of kind of showbiz travel. So I'd recommend it. It's a great way of arriving. You arrive in London, and at least you're pretty refreshed. You can get a shower.
What time did you get into London?
7:15, I think it was, something like about 7:15. And it was just a quick walk to go across to St Pancras Station, which is the international station. Going into Europe without having to go to an airport is really interesting. I've not done that before. But yet again, the Eurostar was like, it felt like a nice bit of privilege. Like the staff were super friendly. There was quite a lot of traffic in there, lots of people going to Euro Disney. It was quite busy, but you can see how like spacious and stuff it is in the seat and everything.
Would you take the kids?
Yeah, actually, it's not a bad. See, if you're going to Euro Disney, actually, it might be a better way, and a lot of people were doing that, taking their kids to Euro Disney via the Eurotunnel. There was loads of kids and stuff like that, and it's maybe a lot less stressful than going on the flights. So I kind of recommend that. I'm just going to put some images up while we're chatting anyway about Bruges, because then the brilliant thing about Eurostar, you could then get your train to into Belgium, so it took you to Brussels, and while you're in Brussels, your Eurostar ticket will take you anywhere in Belgium.
Looks like Courus.
It does look a bit like Courus.
You've gone all the way to Belgium on 2 massive trains.
Literally got the same stuff here.
Like, mind you, that bit looks a bit fancier than Courus.
Yeah, no, the hotel was great. It was called the Grand Hotel Castlebar, and that was absolutely fantastic. Look, Belgium was class. People really friendly, welcoming you there. There's something about and obviously the film in Bruges as well. Gives Bruges that little bit of extra kind of like kudos and what have you. So like, no, I'd really recommend it. It's an interesting way of going into Europe. It was definitely worth it. But yeah, I don't know. I just love traveling like that. So is it, for review wise, I think the sleeper is quite expensive, but worth the money if you take into account you don't have to have a hotel.
Yes.
And the Eurostar, I would say, is a great way of getting into Europe if you've got kids and stuff like that. And especially now with Brexit and everything, I had a nightmare flying back coming out of Frankfurt. Like it's just such a pain with passports and what have you.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'll give it a go. I think like we need to probably give it a try next time.
Yeah.
We go down.
I'm up for that.
But you do need to download your films if you want in there, because obviously you're traveling and your hotspots, everything.
Yes.
So if you were going to watch something, and I was looking to watch Bank of Dave, and I was glad that I downloaded it from Netflix.
Yep.
We watched this separately, which is interesting. So Bank of Dave on Netflix, can you give us a wee synopsis?
Yeah, so just to clarify, this is the drama, the comedy film, rather than the documentary, which is a 3-part documentary, I believe. But this is on Netflix, and the synopsis is: a working class man and self-made millionaire struggles to set up a community bank to help the town's local businesses thrive. To do so, he must battle London's financial institutions and compete for the first banking license in over 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's the wee man versus the big man, isn't it, basically?
A true-ish story.
Yeah, ish. Yes. There's the main crux of the story is true, and the man Dave Fishwick does exist, and he did make up this bank. It's actually not called Bank of Dave. It's called like Burnley's Loans and Savings Bank or something like that. But it's it's locally it's locally known as Bank of Dave. I think Rory Kinnear did a great job, didn't he, as Dave? Especially, I had a quick look at the documentary just to see if he looked like him, and he does. Yeah. He is great casting for looks wise. He looks very like him, and Rory Kinnear is just brilliant. And as an actor in general, so he did a good job of holding it all together, didn't he? Yeah,
look, I mean, the whole outset of it is to be a kind of uplifting family movie that you can actually feel good movie, and you can see that from the casting in it, because the cast they've picked are all like, there's a really strong cast. Obviously, Rory Kinnear. Sorry, Greg Kinnear's a football manager. That would have been an amazing twist.
Wow. I bet he's not as good an actor.
No, probably not.
Throw that out there.
Rory Kinnear is fantastic. Even all the kind of cast are quite, like characters, and that seems to be the kind of first and foremost thing of it. I don't really like speaking negatively about something, but I found the script in parts to be like a little bit cringy, because it's very just says what it is. Like there's characters just explaining their motivations, and well, you went to Oxford, you think you're clever because you went to Cambridge and all that, but you're up here doing good work, aren't you? There's a lot of that. You're like, okay, hey brother. There's a scenes like that, and you can see the cast working their way, using their charm to get over that.
Yeah, the cast did really well, and I think, to be honest, I think we're going to keep this one short because we've got so many to get through, but I think in general terms it's a nice feel-good British comedy. It's not going to be the next Full Monty, which I do think is what they're probably kind of aiming for, that sort of genre, but it's a lovely wee film. So
like, I enjoyed watching it, and it's something you could watch in company with your family and what have you. There's just that there will be little part, like I would have maybe not have stuck at it, because early on the script's a wee bit sticky.
Yeah, it does get better.
Actually it moves through that and stuff, and it is lovely. And the fact that it is a true-ish story, and it's the David and Goliath thing, you do root for them, and you're invested. Yeah. And Def Leppard make an appearance.
Yes, which is nice. Although that bit's apparently not true. I didn't look up. Is that they don't do the big thing in the arena? I think that's just
no way.
Yeah.
Oh wow! But actual Def Leppard are in the film, but not in.
I'm gonna double check that for next time. But I did.
You could be slagging Def Leppard off.
No, I'm sure. Def Leppard, I'm sure were involved at some point, because that's a really random pull out. But I think what the point was that I'd read that didn't happen. There wasn't a big arena thing.
We didn't do the concert.
But so the next one I watched. Ratings. It's a 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna 2.5 G's out of 5 for me.
Good. Okay. So moving on to Murder Mystery 2. So I watched this while you were away. Yeah. I was going to watch the Whitney Houston doc, but changed my mind, to be honest.
So that makes it sound
apologies
like
about that. No. I actually do think it's going to be very good, but I want to watch it with you. And B, I want to watch it in conjunction with a certain documentary that's also out, which is apparently a really good side reference thing. So it's a bit more of a job than I'd sort of expected. So I just wanted something really fun. I wanted a popcorn movie that was super silly, and I found it in Murder Mystery 2. Right. Which is on Netflix, starring Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler.
And is there a Murder Mystery 1?
Yes.
And have you watched that?
But I did not know that. No, I thought one of the jokes in this was that it was just called Murder Mystery 2. Has anyone ever done that? Because I genuinely think that. Yeah.
Trolls. there's a film called Trolls, I think, which starts at 3.
But not like the famous.
And they never
Trolls.
made and I think other people made. No, but I think it was called Trolls 3, and there was never.
Amazing.
1 and 2.
Well, I mean, I thought that was a part of the joke.
Let me check.
And anyway, so but yeah, it's just it really delivers on just being a really silly Saturday night. You want an easy watch that's just really fun. Beautiful costumes, beautiful set, loads of money thrown at it. It's who else? Jennifer Aniston is brilliant in it. There's just constant action, silly plots, brilliant costumes, incredible pace. My goodness, it goes like the clappers. Just really fun. I would definitely recommend watching it if you're just looking for something easy going for your Saturday night.
Do you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. I think there was a film with Jennifer Aniston in it about trolls that started at 3. I think that could be a really
wait, that would be a really weird link.
Yeah. It would almost be worth us pre-researching it before we did
this. Yeah, well, maybe we'll look that up for next time. The final thing that we're looking at this week is Succession. I was going to say I didn't even give the synopsis of.
You need a rating as well, would have been nice.
Yeah, rating. I am giving it a 4 out of 5. It's not going to break any. It's not going to break any like boundaries. There's no awards for this one coming up. It's just fun and silly, and I just really enjoyed it for that.
Jennifer Aniston was in a film called Leprechaun. I got it wrong. Sorry.
Oh, and does it have a? It's not Leprechaun 3.
No. Nice.
Moving on from that, though.
Nah.
So the final thing we're going to look at is Succession episode 2, and this is of season 4.
Yeah.
So should I do a little synopsis of the episode?
Yeah, well, it's worth sort of reminding. We're literally watching them episode by episode as they go along. So this is a review, a bit different than the other stuff that we've been doing, rather than reviewing a series or a movie. Succession, because we love it so much, we think we're going to go for this episode by episode, and we're up to season 2 of series 4, which is the final season.
Yes. Hello. Someone's come in to join us. Come up. It's the Easter holidays at the moment, so this one's just come to say hello. This is Red, our youngest. You saying hello? So let's talk Succession. So it says a cold open saw billionaire silverback Logan Roy, aka Brian Cox, pay a surprise visit to his Fox News alike network ATN. It was the day before the sale of Waystar Royco to Gojo mogul Alexander Skarsgård, and to reassure the ATN staff he was still in charge, Logan prowled the newsroom, as Greg puts it. It's like Jaws if everyone in Jaws worked for Jaws, which was probably my favourite quote of
Greg had a few great lines in this one. Do we not have it's like Santa Claus as a hitman? He's walking around with these glasses in the area.
He's just brilliant. Like they've absolutely knocked out of the park with the one-liners this season. I think the two main cruxes of the episodes is really about Shiv and Tom's divorce, which is starting to get a bit messy, isn't it? Because her dad's kind of taken Tom's side, which is pretty brutal.
But it's because he's just gathering, allies around him, and he knows his kids are dangerous and smart, and Tom's someone he can manipulate. It's all about. Brian Cox was amazing in this episode. In the previous, he's always great, but this was a really big episode for him. Yeah, you didn't think so? Yeah.
Red doesn't think he was excellent, but Red did not watch it. You just know already.
You just intrinsically know.
Proper diss.
To be fair, your opinion is as valid as ours.
Absolutely.
Brian Cox has a big speech in it, doesn't it? And it shows you the talent that Logan's had.
Yeah.
It shows you the talent, why he's got there, and what he's managed to achieve, and the fact he inspires that whole newsroom and has them on the edge, and they all applaud, and they're certainly motivated by it. And you're like, but
it's such an old-fashioned speech, isn't it? It's proper, it's what I imagine Rupert Murdoch did right at the beginning of his kind of era. It's not something that you would necessarily see in dramas now, or I would guess in kind of newsrooms and stuff now, because it's also remote and everything. But you're right, it definitely put the fire up their bums, doesn't it? And
then you saw the other side of the character of Logan Roy when he then goes and talks to his children again, and the dynamic's always there with the three of them. One of them thinks something, she's invariably able to drag another one over there with them, and then it's two and one the other way. And then Logan Roy, he goes to them and looks to apologise and looks meek for a moment. But now with this being series 4, you just never trust him. And it's amazing. It's always willy-nilly.
Yeah. But and a bit of fun with Kerry getting her shot at being an anchor, which was really terrible, and provided a really nice sort of laughable moment in amidst all the chaos. So Yeah, but I think that's us for this week. So just the quick teaser. So we're going to take next week off because it's the Easter holidays.
Yeah,
and
this might have been a bad idea trying to do one during Easter holidays.
That's exactly why. So next week off, we'll be back the following week, and we're looking at, I've picked these, so Gerry's going to get a surprise here. Creed 3, which I have.
Have you watched 2 and 1?
No. I've watched 1 actually, but a long time ago.
Okay, you're gonna have to start watching films in order.
So
I think,
maybe, yeah. So we'll watch Creed 2 and 3,
okay.
But we'll only review 3. And Tetris, the new film Tetris about the making of Tetris, and Succession episode 3 and 4, which is epic. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, so we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, when the kids are back at nursery and school.
Yeah, when we have our sanity back. Say bye.
Bye. Hello. Lunch.